What up? It's your boy King Dow 225 coming at you with another reactionary video. So hit that like, subscribe, become part of the kingdom. Man, I came across this channel, Swamp Stories. You know, it popped across my feed. I'll tell you when it popped across my feed. I'll show you the first video. This is his channel. Go like and subscribe. You know, my first video I ever saw him. I ain't know about his channel. I ain't see none of this stuff. As you can see, I ain't see none of his video until I seen the first one. America's 10 most dangerous cities right there. I'm like, man, I'm interested to see where my city is. I ain't gonna tell you that because I'm gonna review that one too. But then a couple weeks later, that was 3 months ago, almost like what, a month ago, 4 weeks ago, he did a BOOSIE versus Baton Rouge, the wildest stories. And I'm like, oh shit, he talking about my city, BR. Then he did another one 2 weeks later, young boy versus Baton Rouge. I'm like, man, I gotta review both of these stories. See, I don't really like to talk about Baton Rouge street shit, not publicly, cause boy, niggas will touch you for real. Leave that shit alone. But I will review a reactionary video to see just how accurate his information is. All right, let's get to the video. BOOSIE versus Baton Rouge, the wildest stories. And I'm reviewing this off YouTube, so we're gonna be some commercials.
To another episode of Swamp Stories. For this episode, we head down south to the real swamp. That's right, Swamp Stories officially earns its name after this one. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. You can also follow the Instagram page as well. So let's get into it. Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
And Louisiana person know the swamp, nigga.
Louisiana, now one of the hottest cities in the hip-hop world, but it wasn't always this way. So in order for it to make sense, let's head back a few decades. Back in the 1950s, Baton Rouge was a small, quiet country town that existed for only two reasons.
Man, I love my city. I have no idea how much pride I have in it. Even the most ratchet parts. I'm like, ratchet is the most ratchet. You know, everything I be proud of. Like, cause I see so much potential in my people here that sometimes they don't see themselves. I'm like, man, y'all look at rap, y'all look at acting, you look at journalism, you look at sports. We excel, bro. Believe in yourself. But let me not get my tangents. Let me continue. Let the video continue.
It's the state capital and it has Louisiana State University. Other than that, there was never much of anything going on in Baton Rouge. And that's a big reason why the city's population was around 35,000 residents. But ever since the 1960s, Baton Rouge has steadily grown bigger and bigger. And
at that point, like you can see in Baton Rouge, they have a lot of neighborhoods that were formerly white neighborhoods that are now majority black. Now we're a majority black city. Like at one point, they got a neighborhood where Stroman, where Billy Cannon, like first LSU Tiger to win the Heisman Trophy, live right in the hood. I'm talking about, like, you would never recognize it. Like, damn. And you can see remnants of old white people still live there. These neighborhoods, a lot of these neighborhoods were white neighborhoods.
that can be attributed to the city about an hour down the road. During the late 1960s, the city of New Orleans started getting really bad. And by 1972, it was America's most dangerous city. And because of this, many New Orleans residents began moving out to Baton Rouge to escape the madness.
Ironically, I can believe that because my daddy actually was born in New Orleans.
So New Orleans' population dropped from 650,000 to 490,000 in under 15 years. And during this same time span, Baton Rouge gained nearly 100,000 residents. And although I'm making it seem like a thriving city, it's hardly that. In fact, Baton Rouge is one of America's poorest cities. With a median household income of just $42,000, it's safe to say that folks in Baton Rouge aren't quite striking it rich. And despite it being a capital city with all kinds of government jobs, 26% of residents are living in poverty. So I can honestly say that there aren't any vegan cafes that sell $10 avocado toast anywhere near Baton Rouge. But not only is poverty an issue, but crime is as well. Baton Rouge is one of the top 5 most dangerous cities in the country, but the way the streets operate is much different than many other places, especially California.
See, I can't express to others how different it is here. They're like, man, but every hood is a hood, but our hood, like, politics are like vastly different.
So let me break it down. In Baton Rouge, neighborhoods don't really matter. For example, in LA, if you're born in the Hoovers area, you can't associate or go to the 60s. It's structured based on territory and colors. But in Baton Rouge, it's completely different. Neighborhoods pretty much mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. For example, someone saying I'm from South Baton Rouge or 50.
Are you concerned about the flabby stomach? Are you concerned about back pain and incorrect posture?
50th Street has no weight to it. Completely different. Neighborhoods pretty much mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. For example, someone saying I'm from South.
I claim the North, but I lived so many different areas of Baton Rouge at a longer period of time. I'm not the South. I claim the North, Scotland, Banks, whatnot, and such. But I just spent so much parts of my life at other parts of the city, from Zion City to Brookstown to Fairfield to CC to Dixie. Like, I don't live so yeah, neighborhoods, it don't really, maybe for the bottom boy shit
South
like
Baton
that.
Rouge or 50th Street has no weight to it. That alone won't get you pressed or cause any issues. Instead, enemies are based on personal grievances or small cliques that you may have had run-ins with. Rivals can be made literally.
It's about your clique, your little tribe. You can have a homeboy from the South. You can have a homeboy from Banks. But if that nigga, that's who you rocking with, that's who you fucking with, and like, I ain't fucking with that nigga because he from the South. It might have been like that. It might still be like that. But you can still have. But it's about, like, yo, clique. This is like real clique shit. Like, that's, man, that nigga couldn't explain it no better. Clique. All about the niggas I rock with, who I fuck with. Both.
Won't get you pressed or cause any issues. Instead, enemies are based on personal grievances or small cliques that you may have had run-ins with. Rivals can be made literally anywhere. At the gas station, the grocery store, the DMV. That's just the environment. Everyone is on edge and ready to go at any moment. And if you don't believe me, just ask anyone from there. They will all tell you the same thing. It's absolute chaos. So in this video, you're going to hear possibly the craziest story that's.
It is absolute chaos. See, that's why I kind of take pride on some sinister shit. Because this is where I'm from, and this where the roads through concrete protruded. I fucking survived. Like, you know what I'm saying? I will make it. You know what I'm saying? Every Baton Rouge nigga they do great shit.
Ever been on Swamp Stories. But before we get into it, let me run the intro.
Let's see if he know this history. That's why I got a video with top 10 greatest Louisiana rappers. And I put Boosie, NBA, and Lil Wayne is the top 3. Y'all gotta go look at the video and see which order. Boosie, Lil Wayne, NBA. And I gave Boosie the most time because people do not understand the reach that Boosie, not like I had you touch, but like how influential his music was to like 2-3 generations. Like, you, man, like y'all could never grasp what I'm referring to unless you from Baton Rouge. I'm like, bro, like Boosie embodies the Baton Rouge mentality to the fullest, but like for some reason his voice just amplified that, like, on some anime shit. You know what I'm saying? He like Ain't no anime, that's comic. He like a violet lantern. If y'all anybody who watch DC know what Green Lanterns is, you know what a violet or blue lantern is. They bolster the strength of the other lanterns, the red lantern, the green lantern, and whatnot. Like he amplified the street nigga Baton Rouge spirit, and he just like I can't blame. Like when Boosie said one time, I can't do no verses because my music caused too many deaths. Like it ain't connected to Boo, but just a nigga who getting in a certain mind frame, listen to Boosie rap, will go do a nigga something. Like y'all, his dad listen to her go do a nigga something. He bumping that shit. Now his son listen to his daddy doing the shit, watching him go do a nigga something. So little nigga going to do a nigga something. Listen to now then NBA young boys actually one of those little, I don't want to call them boosie bastards, but one of them little niggas that grew up in the culture around boosie music. So we all be like, man, why NBA like that? Oh, cause first he grew up in this kind of environment, and this is how we grow. Let me continue, bro. I just can't explain it. Like Boosie said, like them niggas out there revved up on some boo. Then really go do it.
During the 1990s, Baton Rouge was always overshadowed by New Orleans. Between the Hot Boys, Juvenile, Master P, Soulja Slim, Lil Wayne, Birdman, Turk, BG, and Manny Fresh.
And we love everybody they name, but if nobody had the, I'm telling you, Boosie is the equivalent of Tupac in Baton Rouge at one point. At one time history, man, I'm talking about youngest of the camp, you know, like, bro.
Fresh, you can say that New Orleans definitely had the spotlight, but as No Limit began cooling down and Birdman and Lil Wayne moved away to the mainstream world, New Orleans lost its spotlight, and that's when Baton Rouge began to rise. A young man named Torrance Hatch, also known as Lil Boosie, had the local scene on fire, but although he was a local success down south, he wasn't exactly doing major numbers. That was until 2005 when Boosie signed with Warner Brothers, and this is when things would start looking up for him. But despite the mainstream success, Boosie's life in Baton Rouge was all but on an upward trajectory. This is one of the most complicated and illogical stories I have ever told. So please rewind and pause if you have to.
Say, bro, I heard this and I know this story. And when I'm telling you, bro, sorry for the noise in the background. If you hear my grandson scream, say, bro, like it's one of those science fiction movies where you know this is gonna be a apex in history. That if you was ever to go back and change this, it would change and save so many lives in the streets of Baton Rouge. Y'all have say, bro, if nigga would have turned left instead of right, so many lives would have been different. Like real talk. Like damn, if I'd go back and just change that night. It's like on some fucking JLK shit in the streets of Baton Rouge. At the club shenanigans. If I could have altered history, I would have saved hundreds of lives in the streets of Baton Rouge. No fucking bullshit.
So let's start.
I mean, it's still like NBA YoungBoy versus Baton Rouge. That's connected to this. So now these young niggas picked up the shit that happened almost 20 years ago. One night.
Dive in. Lil Boosie is from South Baton Rouge, but more specifically the Roosevelt Street Projects. And during his childhood, his neighborhood was run by a group called BBG, also known as Bottom Boy Gorillas. I know the name sounds very unlike Boosie, if you know what I mean, but it actually makes sense. They operate out of what's known as the bottom of South Baton Rouge. This is pretty much considered Washington Street down to Astor.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I always said South Baton Rouge and anybody Baton Rouge, like, them niggas is different. No disrespect. Because I always said how they grew up is different than how us North Baton Rouge niggas grew up. See, we grew up around Southern University and shit. You know what I'm saying? Southern University. So it was like a mind meld of street niggas and college niggas. You know, but these niggas grew up around LSU. Like, so they had a different mentality. You know what I'm saying? I'd have said this to niggas and be like, you had a different mentality because you could literally see the haves and the have not sitting next to each other, like going to school with each other. It's like ridiculous. Like, it could be a hood right here and around the corner, they got rich white folks. Like, so your hustle is different. It's like, their mentality is like Juvie had a line in one of his songs that every time I hear, I think of a South Baton Rouge nigga. Might laugh with you, but we ain't to be trusted. Like, no disrespect. No disrespect. My family from South Baton Rouge. Even I be looking at it like, bro, y'all niggas be on some different shit, bro. Like, y'all gotta keep your eye on y'all niggas. Like, cause that's like the closest thing in Baton Rouge. We all say a hood don't matter. Well, a hood actually like matters. Like, cause a lot of people in South Baton Rouge like been there a minute. Like, I moved around BR a lot, but a lot of people in the South, yeah, it's like a deep history. A lot of people from the North too.
Street, and BBG put fours down to mark where they're from. And on the other side of Washington Street, you have another group called TBG. This means Top Boy Gorillas, and they put fours up to show that they're from the top.
When they say top, like bottom is literally a big ass hill down to the bottom of South Baton Rouge. Like, literally, where they got a school called McKinley High, where they got a mixture of white, like honors class. It's like such a weird, surreal hood neighborhood. It's like weird. Like, any corner, you could be like, if that's the next song, you could be at LSU, seeing a bunch of white people. I'm like, God damn, the contrast is just different. It's like New Orleans in a sense. Like, New Orleans, you could be in the first quarter. You fucking walk too far left or right. You in the wrong motherfucker.
Of South Baton Rouge. Both sides are known for getting money and playing rough. And although there was an off and on rivalry between members of both groups, I wouldn't necessarily call it a beef at all. It's way more complicated than TBG versus BBG, and most of the losses came from internal issues on both sides. So let's get into the events. Boosie always rolled with his two closest friends, Ivy Smith, also known as Lil Ivy, and Daryl Milton, also known as Bleak. Both Ivy and Bleak were the top two TBG members, known for calling shots and leading the most hated group in all of Baton Rouge. And Boosie was no less than them, except that he had become the head of BBG. And that's to say that South Baton Rouge was all rocking together. BBG and TBG was all one family. But once Boosie began blowing up, his friend Lil Ivy wanted to start rapping as well. So he would start his own label called TBG Records. And this is where things began to get blurry. Some people in Baton Rouge say that Boosie didn't want to see Ivy get on his level, so he prevented him from connecting with major labels. And some would say that this caused tension between TBG and BBG, but Boosie claims that that's not true and there was no friction. Regardless, things would get serious on April 2nd, 2005. It's a Friday night in Baton Rouge, and Boosie
17 years ago, bro. This is the fateful night. This is the JFK moment. They changed the trajectory of so many lives in my city, bro. Y'all motherfuckers do not have no earthly idea. Like, so many shit.
is set to do a walkthrough at Club Shenanigans, but the main reason he's there is to celebrate Ivy Smith's 25th birthday. So to those who say they had issues, please explain that. But anyways, while at the club, an argument breaks out between a local rapper named Nusi and Lil Boosie's
nigga named Nussy. Nussy. Y'all almost got past it. Nussy. Like, this how fucked up how close this city is. Like, my daughter, this is how connected we are. Like, Literally, I told this story to one of my homeboys while I was, still punching the clock about, damn, what happened at club shenanigans. That's how big this shit was. Like, man, this what happened in the club shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, age, bro, these type niggas, hey, money young. Like, I'm talking about real money. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, y'all these niggas moving, right? Like, so they was well known. Well, and Nussie was well known too for other endeavors. You know what I'm saying? He one type, you know, strong on you, no matter who the fuck you is. I mean, when it comes to people in the game, not no innocent people. He ain't that kind of nigga. Where like, if you in the game, he ain't scared to get to know nigga. So all these people were known. And I was like, man, bro, woo wow, this what happened and such, and they saying Nussie did it, Nussie. And Nussie started rapping. Like Nussie wasn't no rapper, Nussie was a street nigga. So my homeboy got in contact with us. He started making documentaries and all kinds of shit. I actually got an interview, my boys interviewing Nussie, because he used to do these like open mic nights for any local rappers who won't come there. When he started getting on, he like, any local rappers who won't come in and spit some verses, nigga put lobsters in the pot, boiling bitches up. And any nigga won't come rap at Bella Noche. Yes, that Bella Noche when it was on a different location. And me and my friend can't go to Bella Noche. Where can we go? Yeah, that Bella Noche. He used to go to Bella Noche and let it in local niggas rap. I'm like, man, like nigga ain't have to do this kind of shit and help put another nigga on. He was out. I knew this dude not on. I know you know, but I have been in this man's orbit and talked to him, had conversations with him, interviewed him. So they said Nussie, the word on the street was Nussie, but it wasn't true. So I'm gonna speak on falsities. Nussie and Ivy Ace was playing big bank, lit banking shenanigans. And Nussie didn't have as much money as Ivy Ace. So he got mad. But that shit wasn't true. Even the police said it wasn't true. Police, that's what he said. But that's what the streets like, man, niggas ain't, he tried it. Ivy ain't big bank, big bank. Y'all know what big bank, take lit bank is on street shit. Nigga pull out how much money they got in their pockets at that time. Whoever got the most, take the least money and put it in his pocket. Big bank, take lit bank.
Crew. That's when Boosie, who at this point is already signed to Warner Brothers, decides to leave the club. So Boosie leaves with most of his entourage except for Ivy Smith, who stays in the club till the very end. Ivy gets in his car with two friends and heads to his home all the way in Sherwood Forest. And as he's driving down Interstate 12, a car pulls up beside him and bam! Instantly, all the attention was on one man.
Like, I don't know none of these dudes. I've probably seen them, but like, I just know my city, how much I love and how much this shit affected them. Like, man, ain't so many wasted lives, bro. It almost make me fucking want to cry at some point. I'm like, bro, so much motherfucking potential in my city. And like, I almost some Hatfield and McCoy shit.
And only Nussie. It had to be Nussie who did it, and everyone was convinced. But Nussie would instantly dispel the rumors, saying that he wasn't involved in any ways. He was even able to prove to police that he was.
So I told you kind of nigga is, he got on rabbit like, I thought I did your boy, but I didn't on that kind of shit. Like, damn, Nussie. And he was sounding kind of good with his shit. I'm like, man, you serious? You ain't never rap before? Nah, man.
Was at a completely different location at the time it happened.
Basically, I didn't do it, but ain't nobody believed me. But later on down the line, a couple months later, they found out I didn't do it. Ain't nobody apologized to me for it, so I'm mad now. So I'm like, let's get it on, you know.
So after this, a new
That nigga was mad every chance he get. That's what I was like every chance he got, he was not scared of speaking his mind on nothing. Like I'm talking about nothing. If you say, man, how you feel about? I asked him one question. I said, man, I said, man, how you feel about this? Oh, I always said niggas still Baton Rouge swag when it comes to hip hop. I'm like, man, how you feel about niggas jacking Baton Rouge swag? And this is 2005. I got video evidence. And like, man, bro, it's all about your hustle. Fuck what another nigga doing. He was on that kind of shit. Like, okay, I feel you, I feel you, I feel. And he can talk about the poster store. Like, y'all niggas know I talk to him. He talk about the time, you know, somebody snatched down his poster.
new rumor began roaming around Baton Rouge. People would say that Ivy was not into it with rivals. Rather, he had issues with his own friend over some money. That would be a man by the name of Tremaine Franklin, also known as Lil Pig. Lil Pig was a fixture within the BBG TBG circle, and he was often seen with Lil Boosie in music videos. Now let me state that this here is 100% hearsay and was never proven in court, so take it as a rumor, not a fact. But regardless, this here may convince you that Lil Pig was the one who did it. April 23rd, 2008. Lil Pig and his mother are sitting on the porch of their South Baton Rouge home. That's when a man pulls up and bam! Again, at first, all eyes were pointed at Nussie, but those within the circle knew exactly what this was all about. After a little while, a new name was being talked about all around Baton Rouge. That would be a young man named Nicholas Sterling, also known as Lil Finn. Lil Finn was very close to Lil Boosie and was often seen by his side, and everyone started saying that he was the one who handled Lil Pig for what he did to Lil Ivy. Regardless if it's true or not, everything would come around for him just a few months later. August 23rd, 2008. Lil Finn gets into a random argument with a man on McKinley Street. The man, whose name is Donald Eli, would notice Lil Finn reaching down, and that's when he would react. Bam! Lil Finn.
I used to buy only sugary, fizzy drinks. But I learned that they are
Finn or Lil Nick would just come around for him.
This is another important aspect of Baton Rouge that a lot of people don't get. Like, y'all just think street niggas got guns. Like, everybody got guns. Your mama might have one in her purse. Your girl might have one in her purse. The nigga who punched him 9-5 might have one in his seat. Everybody ready to shoot, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, might have some old lady going to church with a small 22 in her.
Just a few months later, August 23rd, 2008, Lil Finn gets into a random argument with a man on McKinley Street. The man, whose name is Donald Eli, would notice Lil Finn reaching down, and that's when he would react. Bang! Lil Finn, or Lil Nick, which is his other nickname, is still a legendary name in Baton Rouge. He was one of Boosie's closest friends, and you can always hear him referring to him in his music. But this just goes to show that in Baton Rouge, things always catch up to you. So boom, here we are at the end of 2008, and although Boosie is more popular than ever before, things are falling apart for him in Baton Rouge. Now without Ivy, Josh Thomas, Kevin Henderson, Lil Pig, and Lil Finn, Boosie definitely lost a lot of his muscle. And that right there introduces us to a brand new character. Let me introduce you to Michael Louding, also known as Marlo Mike. The name Marlo Mike rings bells all throughout Louisiana because he is truly something else. Marlo Mike grew up in the same neighborhood as Boosie, but was definitely less fortunate. In fact, he was the poorest kid in the entire neighborhood, and his living conditions absolutely stunned Lil Boosie.
They got some neighborhoods in Baton Rouge, even the poor people, they look like, God damn, for real. Woo! This is depressing. Real nigga shit.
He could not believe the way that Marlo Mike was being raised, so Boosie would—
I ain't gonna even say neighborhood. They had neighborhood. Every time I went there, bitch, the motherfuckers look like slave huts. I'm like, bro. Oh my fucking God. I'm like, bro, who the fuck living in these slave huts? Brown houses, brown roofs. I'm talking about literally look like a slave cabins.
would step up to the plate and take him in as a son of his own. He was even allowing him to live with him since the age of 12. But once Marlo Mike got old enough, he would outgrow the role of a kid and have a new role in South Baton Rouge. He became Lil Boosie's new enforcer, and that's not me saying it, he said it himself. But Marlo Mike was only 15 years old when he got his start, and this story is absolutely insane. All of this is as told by Marlo Mike as he took the witness stand in 2012. Some information was confirmed and others were dismissed. Don't take everything as a fact, rather a personal account. And that takes us to April of 2009. Lil Boosie allegedly gets his chain snatched by another BBG member. That would be a man by the name of Marcus Thomas. And Lil Boosie felt disrespected to the point where he would ask Marlo Mike and Michael Judson to handle it for him. April 25th, 2009. Marcus Thomas is driving down West McKinley Street just 2 blocks from Boosie's projects. That's when Marlo Mike pulls up and bang! Another internal conflict in Baton Rouge over something pointless, once again. And at this point, everything that happened to South Baton Rouge was between them. And because of that, everyone assumed that the problems with Nussie were over. In fact, both artists would do interviews confirming that they ran into each other at the airport and squashed it. And given that, you'd assume that everything was good. But unfortunate news would come soon. February 9th, 2009. Marlo Mike drives up to Nussie's neighborhood in Mid-City, Baton Rouge. He heads down America Street and bam! This incident here shocked everyone, especially after they publicly squashed their issues. But Marlo Mike would claim that after the interviews were done, Nussie would actually disrespect Boosie at a nightclub again. And sadly, that's all it took. But another major event would occur just a few months later, October 21st, 2009. Boosie and his friend Michael Judson get a letter from Angola State Prison. The letter is from a friend, and it states that a man named Terry Boyd was in Angola talking about what he's gonna do to Boosie. It just so happens that Terry Boyd gets out the same day. So Boosie tells Marlo Mike that he has $25,000 for him, and he knows exactly what to do. So Marlo Mike drives out to Terry's address. He waits for the night. Bam! Marlo Mike would then say that he returned to Boosie's house, and he would say that Boosie recorded 2 songs to celebrate the event. Anyways, Boosie would give Marlo $2,800 in rewards, which I guess was not enough for his loyalty. And that takes us to April 1st, 2010. Marlo Mike is contacted by a rival of Boosie named Reginald Youngblood. The man offers him a sum of money to catch up with Boosie's 2 closest friends. That would be Charles Noki Matthews and Daryl Bleak Milton. And some would say that these were Boosie's only 2 day 1 friends left. Regardless of how much money he was offered, there's no way Marlo Mike would do it, right? You'd think that he would be loyal to the man who took him in since the age of 12. Not in this case. Marlo Mike is cold. On the morning of
Might laugh with you, but we asked to be trusted.
April 1st, 2010, Marlo Mike would get the job done. But after this, literally everyone was left clueless. Marlo Mike would even attend the funeral 2 weeks later with Boosie and everyone else from BBG. But shortly after, he would go down for it, and so would another unexpected man from Boosie's neighborhood. That would be a man named Kendrick Johnson, who Boosie had pretty much raised as well. And Kendrick Johnson is the younger brother of Boosie's artist Lil Fat. Boosie would talk about this on DJ Vlad.
Fat ain't do nothing to make the situation how it was. His brother had did something to make the situation how it was.
Well, Marlo Mike, for whatever reason, decided to tell everything in detail. He wasn't offered a way out or anything, he just figured why not take the Tekashi route, except with no reward. He would go into detail about every single situation, which pretty much only made it worse for him. But then when it came to the Tory Boyd situation, Marlo Mike would say that Boosie paid him to do it, and this would ultimately result in Boosie's arrest. However, an unexpected person would come to Boosie's defense. That would be Terry Boyd's sister, who claimed that her brother and Boosie had no issues whatsoever. Why she did this, it didn't seem to make any sense at first, until people realized that she has a child with Boosie. So at that point, she wants her child's father to be around for her kid. So honestly, even though I think it's a tough decision, I think she made the right one. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments whether she should have stuck up for her brother or her child's father. Well, long story short, Boosie beats the charge in 2012 and Marlo Mike is doing life. Many of his statements in court were deemed hearsay and were unapplicable to Boosie's case. And on top of this, when it was time for Marlo Mike to officially testify against Boosie, he took back all of his previous statements. Thankfully, after getting out, Boosie would move to Atlanta to enjoy a peaceful life with his children. But just when you thought the old drama was put in the past, Lil Ivy's nephew, who goes by the nickname Lit Yoshi, would go on Instagram Live and accuse Boosie of having something to do with the loss of his Uncle Ivy.
Yeah, I used to listen to Boosie music. I remember when I was little, uncles used to take me by Boosie's house. Yeah, that used to be my favorite rapper. I grew up off his music, off his old music, cause that new music, yeah, Trill.
I grew up off his music. All these little lit niggas grew up. I'm telling you, bro, I don't niggas don't get it, man.
Cause you take me by Boosie's house. Yeah, that used to be my favorite rapper. I grew up off his music, off his old music, cause that new music, yeah, Trill wanted to sign Ivy. Yeah, that's what it was. Amy wanted to sign Ivy and Boosie ain't won't answer the phone. You know what I'm saying? And Bleak got tired of telling Ivy Boosie don't want to talk. He kept telling Boosie and all this and that. So Ivy said fuck him. And for his birthday, he tried to bring him a pint of syrup. And the nigga ain't take that night. Matter of fact, Boosie need to stop posting Ivy, man. I don't know why I be letting that shit make me mad. What they be doing on Instagram Live and Instagram. That shit really be making me mad. It be getting to me. I don't even know why I let it get to me.
Boosie would respond to the claim.
Sound like Ivy, but you ain't wanted to help him. Man, nah, bro. Don't believe that, man. Them dudes was 3 years old when this was going down. Ivy, we wouldn't Trill like that, dude.
The whole situation is unfortunate, but it's good to see Boosie grow past all this and live a great life with his family. And no one will ever know the truth about any of this, but either way, it's history. And there is a value in learning history so that it won't repeat itself. But sadly, in this case, the new generation of TBG and BBG are no different.
Say, bro, that was a wild story. Pretty goddamn. I ain't gonna even say whether it's accurate or not. You got a lot of information in that motherfucker. Somebody snitching. God damn. You know all this shit. But I'm about to review this video, Young Boy versus Baton Rouge. And this shit is actually connected to Boosie versus Baton Rouge. And when I say the amount of lies, I was like, bang, bang, bang. Just in this video, if that's the ones you won't see. Like, bang, bang, bang in this video too. It's your boy King Now 225 with another reactionary video. Hit that like, subscribe, become part of the King.